Now joining us this morning is our resident book critic, Audrey Chirenje. Audrey, good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Are you enjoying the rain? I mean, we've been clamoring and crying for the rain. We're a bit worried when they say tropical cyclone Chido was going to come through with the rain because we're like, okay, it might be a bit devastating, but it looks like, the alert levels have gone down and at least it's wet and we're getting some rain.
We love the rain, but we don't love the jokes which are going around about cyclone shit.
Care to share?
No, we'll leave it for another day.
But anyway, we're back again and we're discussing a book with an intriguing title. Let me just put it up for our viewers to have a look. And I think that's what captured my imagination. It says whipping tomato. And they always say, it's an old cliche, right? I don't know whether you guys can see this properly. Never judge a book by its cover, but the cover is like, it has me intrigued. But let's talk about this book by Samatha Rumbidzai Vazhure. I know she's a NAMA award-winning author. She's written several books, but let's unpack what whipping tomato, I'm trying to figure out where to start. Sometimes you hear a title and you're like, oh, this book is about A, B, C, D. I have no clue. What is this about?
Why were you looking at me?
Because I'm like, help me.
Because when you said whipping tomato, what came to my mind? Because I'm a farmer. There are different types of tomatoes. So when you go to the market, I also take my gem because I cannot. So that's what came into my mind.
Whipping tomato. But anyway, that's why we have Audrey here. Yeah. She's actually read the book, and maybe just give us just a quick overview of what this book is about.
Okay, so I'm not going to tell you what exactly she was talking about, but when you read the book, it's got a lot of pain. It's got a lot of, call it crazy. I was telling teacher earlier, like that Wakanda world. I'm talking to the young generation. Imagine yourself in that epic world, because this book, set in Wales in England, but it transcends into Zimbabwe, and you've got the before and then you've got the afterworld, and it's all mixed in one book. It's got a part 1 and a part 2. So I think people need to read that book to actually find out what she was referring to the whipping tomato. But the title is so intriguing, the cover is equally intriguing, and it speaks to the story itself.
And obviously, I mean, you did say it just weaves through the afterworld, the present, the past, the future, but it does Samatha Rumbidzai Vazhure do a good job of keeping us in the loop. I mean, because sometimes you can be trying to read the stories, especially if they're intertwined like that, and you can get lost a bit. Like as a respected author, how good of a job did she do in terms of making sure that you're hooked and you can sort of keep track that, okay, now we're in the past, now we're in the underworld or the afterworld, now we're in Zimbabwe, now we're in Wales.
She did an amazing job, and I could not put this book down. And like the opening scene, it starts with her arrival from England at the RGM International Airport, and she's being welcomed, and she's been summoned to now step into her grandmother's role. She's taken over her role, and she has to kill a crocodile as part of the initiation process. So then you go to the next chapter, and now it's in the modern world, set in England. You've got Zororai, she's married to her husband James. They've got 3 kids, 2 twins, twins and a girl. And, she talks about her life. But then there's also a twist in all this, because Samantha writes prose and also poetry. So you find that, and I think people are very common to this online dating thing, which has hit the world. Yeah. Because the husband is always busy elsewhere. She's always stuck at home. Doing other things. She meets Adam online. The guy is based in South Africa, in Joburg, and they get this connection. So now they're talking to each other. We can call it an online flirtation of some sort. And as you go into the story, they write each other poetry, very deep. Adam is from the ghetto, so there's a lot of ghetto lingo in there. And I like the way that she connects all this together. So anyone can read this book, whether you're from across Samora, whether you're from the ghetto, whether you're from England, you can read this book and actually relate to it because she connects it all together.
So it's not just about the past, the afterworld, the future, and even the present. No, we talked about Zimbabwe, we talked about Wales. Now we're even throwing South Africa, and for good measure, online dating as well. And that, so it sounds quite complicated. But in terms of maybe the lessons and the themes that we can take away from Whipping Tomato.
I think she puts this as the one lesson. Everything you're searching for in other people is inside you. But for me, when I was going through it, I think the grass is always greener on the other side. That's what we think, but it's not. Because, yes, she actually at some points then travels to South Africa to meet Adam. But does the meeting happen or not? I'll leave it there so that people can read. No spoiler alerts.
Yeah.
But most of the time, you think you found something in someone else, but it's all inside you. Or what you have is actually better.
All right, look within. Yeah, sounds a bit like navel gazing to me. But like, I was looking at some of the reviews on the back of this book, and I like this one from Tara Rondoro, who's also an author and poet. She says, Whipping Tomato is a startling tale that is both foreign and familiar. Rumbidzai effortlessly interweaves Chikaranga traditions with the tropes of a cold and westernized Zimbabwe diaspora with a masterful attention to detail. Whipping Tomato confidently jumps from prose to poetry in a tapestry of rich description and lifelike characters we've all met. I could not put this down. It sounds like you wrote that.
Exactly, that's exactly what I said. Yeah. And what's fascinating is Rumbidzai is actually in the legal profession. That's what she went to school for. So you find even her language is very rich and it's very diverse. But she's also a publisher with Canadian Heart Publishing. She's published so many Zimbabweans here and also some in the diaspora. Some of them are even NAMA award winners. So I think she's very diverse to that. She's won so many awards, even in the UK, for her publishing efforts. So I think for her, like I said initially, to just put all these languages in one book, it's very rare and it's very good for our country because we get representation in all these platforms.
And in terms of where we can access Whipping a Tomato by Samatha Vazhure, and maybe also just pack in the social media handles as well as we make our way out of this first hour.
Okay, so she's found on social media on Rumbidzai Vazhure on X, FB, and IG. The book is sold on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and many other global online bookstores. In Zimbabwe, it's sold with Book Fantastics. They're a mobile bookstore, by the way. So you just find them online, tell them where you are, and they'll bring the book to you. And the price of the book is $17. Chit.
Yeah, I mean, for all the detail that you've said lies within this book and all the worlds that have been interweaved, and it sounds like a good value. So make sure you get yourself a copy of this. If you like your Afro-futuristic reading, whether you are into the South African lingo, Zimbabwe, Makaranga, hold it down. Or if you're in the diaspora. But Audrey, thank you very much for joining us. Just quickly before I let you go, plans for Christmas?
I'll be around just unwinding. Yeah.
Reading?
Yes.
Of course.
Konapo, ipapo, ba ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.